Welcome to the Small Giants Fishbowl. This topic is community, how to save the environment while engaging employees. Small Giants understand the value of establishing deep roots in their community, but implementing engaging community programming can be difficult. Liz Zavodsky, Director of Membership and Engagement at Northwest Earth Institute, has worked with hundreds of organizations across industries to help them implement EcoChallenge and Community and Sustainability Discussion Courses, two highly engaging and versatile community programs. Okay, here we go.
Yes, I'm Liz. I am with the Northwest Earth Institute. It's a small nonprofit based in Portland, Oregon. I've been here for 6+ years, and I oversee all of our engagement and membership. And I'm really excited to talk with you all today because the programs that we offer and the work that we do, I think could be a really good fit with some of the work that you do and maybe some of the goals that you have. So I'll tell you a little bit more about us as well. And here's a little bit more about me. I've worked in higher education. I've been involved with environmental engagement and education for 7 years. And it's been through actually traveling around the world, which I've been lucky enough to do with a study abroad program for college students, that my inspiration for sustainability and connecting community and people to our natural environment, that's what sparked my interest in this work and educating folks and helping people see our daily connections in everything that we do. So that's just a little bit about me. Some things I'd like to share with you today. I really like to share our programs, which are EcoChallenge and Discussion Courses. Our mission as an organization for Northwest Earth Institute is to inspire people to take responsibility for the earth. And we know that that happens in as many different ways as we are different from one another. There's no right or wrong way. So in the work that we do, it's very non-prescriptive, non-judgmental, and we don't tell you what to do or how to act or what to buy or who to be. What we try to do is we try to provide educational tools to help people feel inspired about their daily choices as it connects to other human beings and the planet around us. And we do that through our EcoChallenge program and our discussion courses. And we've been working with the business community along with faith communities and higher education and neighborhoods and cities for the past 20+ years. And that's why I feel like it's a good opportunity to speak with all of you today as well. So that's what I'd like to talk about is the EcoChallenge, our discussion courses, and share resources and best practices that we've learned along the way. And of course, I'd love to hear from you all too. So if you do have questions, I know that there is a way that you can chat those in or wave your hand and we can ask those questions. I would also love to hear from you. So please do feel free to ask questions along the way. And if you are comfortable with it, it's always really helpful for me to know who you are. So if you're comfortable, I would also love to hear you state your name and maybe where you're calling from. If it's your location, as in state and city, or the company that you're with, I would welcome that information because I want to make sure this is applicable to you. So I'll start first with our EcoChallenge program. This has been going on for 9 years, 9 of our 24 years. It's an online sustainability event, and it's an annual event that is now growing into something more. Every October for 2 weeks, we host a free online EcoChallenge where we ask people to form teams based on their workplace or their neighborhood or their class or their school or their yoga studio or book club. And we ask people in those teams for each person to choose 1 to 3 actions that they're not already doing, but that they want to take on in their life. And I'll show you some examples of those. And over time, it has grown and grown, and we're seeing a lot of momentum and energy around it. And I believe that it could be a really useful tool possibly for your communities in terms of your employees and the communities in which you are located. And luckily, the EcoChallenge is happening right now, October 11th through the 25th. After today, you could still sign up for those last 3 days if you're interested in participating and seeing what it's like. And then come in 2018, we will be announcing very soon, so you're the first to know this, literally the first to know this, but we will be announcing 2 additional EcoChallenges in 2018 that you can get involved in as well that are free also, thanks to our sponsors. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to attempt to stop sharing the PowerPoint and go to our website because I'd like to show you the EcoChallenge website. So we are really excited about this and for the following reasons. Oftentimes we don't always get to know how our actions make a difference. And we at the Northwest Earth Institute don't always get to know how our work makes a difference for people. And because this is a free online event, we can see that. We can see what people are doing. We can see the good things that are happening and the collective impact that's growing. And not only that, we can see that everyone who's participating is inspiring other people. So again, the gist of it is people would create a team, and each individual on the team get to select their own actions. And we have actions in the following categories of food, health, water, transportation, energy. Oh, I didn't mean to click on that. I was going to show you a little bit more if I can reduce this. Energy, community, waste, nature, simplicity, and a create your own. So I'm going to show you, I'll show you actions in the community section. So we offer, just so you know, we offer this as a free program always because we have sponsors and we are grateful for our sponsors. And so Shareable, which some of you might have heard of, Shareable is our community sponsor for this year. And in each section of all of those 8 that I just showed you on the screen, there are a library of actions, so things that you can choose from. So these are the types of things that we ask people to do. Potentially write letters or emails to a public official or company to advocate for planet-friendly policies or something else that you believe in. Again, we're not trying to tell you what to say or what to do or believe in, but we want to encourage you to take that action that's meaningful for you. Pick up the phone and make phone calls, talk to your friends, meet your neighbors, help others, involve your children, volunteer in your community, join your neighborhood association. The list goes on for things that you can do in your community. If there's something community related that you don't see in this category, we have a create your own category so you can write in your own action. So the same thing goes for all of the other categories that we have as well. Having a house party, expressing your support for something, hosting a book club or a dinner, signing a petition, raising money for a nonprofit that's important to you. But these are ways that we want to inspire action for people. I'll show you another category. Is there a category that's of particular interest to anyone on the phone? I will show you. Let's do water. Clean Canteen is our sponsor for the water category this year, which we are grateful for. So what you can see here is, again, some of the water actions that we have available for people to participate in, and they can choose. What you see right here is, this is an action that I've chosen as an example for today, to brush my teeth without running water. So what this means, since I've already done this, I say I've already done this, which means it's grayed out. So I can't do that as my action because I'm already doing that. And the point of this is to do something that you're not already doing, to stretch yourself just a little bit more. So if someone wanted to take a 5-minute shower to save approximately 20 gallons of water, they could hit select, and then that would show that you've selected that action. You might see the dashes here. There's 1 dash here, 3 dashes here, and 2 dashes here. These are our easy, hard, and medium gauges. So you know which actions might be a little bit more difficult than others. And again, if you already do this, if you already take 5-minute showers, you could click on, I already do this. Or if you installed a toilet tank bank, I already do this. We also have, because we want this to be education and action and fun, we have these learn more buttons. So for example, this action is use a reusable water bottle. So it says, I will use a reusable bottle and stop purchasing bottled water, saving blank disposable plastic cups per day, plastic bottles per day. So if I was someone that used 2 water bottles a day of the kind that the single serving kind, then I would say, all right, I'm going to stop that. And so I'm going to stop my 2 and I'm not going to do that. So then you can put in your own value for that. Okay. But let's say, I don't know, that could be really hard. There's some additional resources that we provide that says how much water actually goes into making a bottle of water. So again, we want people to be educated around why these actions matter. Why is it important to reduce our use and live a little bit more lightly on the planet? So you'll see that every now and then some of these actions have action resources with additional information. Okay? So those are the categories that we have. Something else I'd like to highlight for you, these are our title sponsors for this year, and we're really proud to say that we have 11,857 people participating currently, which is a great milestone for us that we feel very proud about. Something else that we find very valuable is our qualitative and quantitative data. We have the ability to track the impact that people are making by their daily choices. So during this 2-week event, when you sign up to take on your 1 to 3 actions, we ask you to check in every day, and I'll show you what that process looks like. But what I really want to show you is the collective impact that we see. When everyone signs in and says if they've completed their action or not, it all adds up to a collective impact here. So these are the types of things that we track when it's the collective impact. So of the 11,000 plus people who are participating, so far we've saved 75,000 pounds of CO2. We've converted 79,000 minutes from in front of a screen to doing something else. I know we're all in front of a screen right now, and there's certainly room for that in our lives, but there's also a nice balance that we can achieve. We've saved up to 205,000 gallons of water by the choices that we've made in the EcoChallenge. So you can see here the power of our collective actions together. Sometimes it might feel like if I change 5 light bulbs in my house, that's only 5 light bulbs. But so far, 1,300 light bulbs have been changed. And that can really inspire people to understand, hey, we're all connected and the actions that we do together really do matter. So you can see our locally sourced meals, phone calls, 148,000 minutes spent outside, organic meals. There's lots of things that we like to track when we're talking about the EcoChallenge. And we've had, well, I'll talk about success stories in just a minute. The other thing is the participant feed. We find a lot of inspiration here. When people check in, they also have an opportunity to post to their feed. And I'll show you here, the feed. This is kind of a reflection that people are able to post. So you can see here that people are talking about how their challenge is going, maybe what's difficult for them, maybe they're cheering each other on, maybe a success story or something that they've learned along the way. So that's a really nice thing for us to be able to read and to follow along as well, because it's fun to be able to see what people are experiencing and going through. And people are even sharing what they're learning in their resources too. You can reply to someone's feed, so you can see here, people are interacting with one another. You can post photos. So there's lots of things that you can do on the feed. And then this again adds to that data that we're seeing and that impact that we see as well. When you go to check in during the day, this is my profile. So here's, again, my picture over here. You can see points that you have. We do have these incentives. You know, all of us are motivated by different things. And some of us are motivated by earning points and winning prizes or being in first place. And some of us are really motivated by seeing what it is that we're actually doing. And so we do have points and prizes and things like that to incentivize folks. So you'll see points over here. But this is where I would check in. And I would say, if these are my 3 actions that I'm doing, then I would be able to say, have I decluttered and donated anything today? Not yet. Have I stopped using a single serving water bottle? Yes. Did I take a 5-minute shower? Not today. It was more like 10. So, and did I do something, purchase food with no plastic? Yes. So anything that I did, I'm able to indicate, yes, I did that. And it can give me my points right there and my recognition right there. I'm also able to then post a reflection here and add an image if I wanted to. And again, because we're a education organization, we have additional resources that we have for people, additional links that people can learn more about that particular topic, and some reflection and discussion questions that they might want to ask themselves as well, or their teammates in which they're doing this with. I've shared a lot of information with you so far on this. I do want to pull up the team list here so you can see the teams that are participating, specifically the organization. I would encourage you to look at this list. You might see organizations in which you are working with, clients of, partners with, familiar with, anything like that, customers of, because there's a wide variety and range of people who participate in the EcoChallenge. I want to pause for a moment to see if there's any questions. Okay.
I have a quick question for you, Liz. So I know we're towards the tail end of the 2 weeks that are going on right now, but if somebody wanted to be sort of informed for next year, how do they go about doing that?
About staying informed for next year?
Yes.
Great question. Thank you. If you wanted to jump on and participate for the last few days, we would capture your information, because you do need to create a profile, like a login username and email address would be captured. So we would put you on the list for updates for 2018. Otherwise, you can also email me, liz@nwei.org, and I'll show you that again at the end of this. And I believe you'll receive an email with my contact information. You can reach out to me directly, and I can certainly make sure that you are kept up to date with our announcements for next year. And I can answer any other specific questions about engaging your communities moving forward also. Okay, so I am showing the team list here. We do allow competitions for teams. Sometimes we'll find that there are businesses that want to compete from one part of the country to the next. Sometimes we find that there are businesses that have offices in multiple places around the country or facilities, and they might have a few teams for their organization, like Keen Shoes. I'm not sure if folks are familiar with Keen Shoes, but they are across North America, and they have, I think, 6 different teams for each of their locations, and then they have a friendly competition within their locations. So there's lots of different ways that people participate and really engage in this program. So if you'd like more details or a deeper dive into this platform, I'm very happy to do that. You can just reach out to me at some point, and we can certainly talk about that. So that's the EcoChallenge. I'm going to go back to the slides so I can share some success stories with you, and maybe how people have also used this internally and externally as well. So again, there might be a hiccup in me sharing screens, so just one moment, please. So we've had something else that we've been able to do with this is we've been able to make custom EcoChallenges for people, and that is not how I wanted that to go. Sorry, one moment. I think it's on autopilot now, so my bad. We've been able to offer customized events for people. So if a company or a community wants, oh dear, just one second, sorry y'all. So if somebody wants to have a custom event for their company or organization or community, then we can do that. And MetLife has chosen to work with us, as well as a few others that I can share stories with you. And you can see here, that I clearly need to learn how to pause this. That there's just some testimonies from them and some things that are showing how this has been successful for them in the past. Okay, I'm going to do this one for just a second. MetLife decided to use the EcoChallenge as a tool for engaging their employees in building a green team. So they didn't have a green team that was doing environmental or sustainability education programs, and that's what they wanted to do, and that's what they did, which was a really exciting thing for us because we wanted to show how this could be a powerful thing for them. And this is just a quote from an employee who was doing the challenge through work, but really was inspired to also implement everything that they were learning in the challenge into their daily life as well. So part of the reason why I like the EcoChallenge is that no matter who you're participating with, whether it be at work, at home, with a spiritual community or another community in which you identify with at school, this can be applied to many facets of your life. And so the EcoChallenge can be really inspiring for other people in general. As I said, they used the EcoChallenge to build that green team, which grew by 500 members for them, which was a very exciting thing. Some additional success stories that I really wanted to share with you is one of them being Bank of America has also chosen to use the EcoChallenge in two ways. Number one, to use it as a tool for their environmental engagement programming at work, but also as an education tool to inspire their employees to do things within the communities in which they live. So they have a really strong program that encourages volunteering in the community of which you live. And by educating and providing opportunities in the workplace, such as the EcoChallenge or other programs, the employees are gaining skills and knowledge that they can then implement in their own communities as community leaders as well. So that's one success story. Some of you might be familiar with an organization called the Story of Stuff. It's also a nonprofit, and they are currently using the EcoChallenge as a way to engage and ignite their network. So right now on their EcoChallenge team, they have over 200 people on their EcoChallenge team because they're really pushing this out to their network to say, hey, come join us. Let's see what's important to you. What actions are you taking? And that's a way that they're interacting with their networks more. So they're inviting those people. The city of Portland, we are working with them right now to not only engage employees and residents, there's a big push to engage residents, and then afterwards, we're going to be doing a deeper dive into the demographic data of participants in Oregon to see what we can learn about sustainability, awareness, education, and action within the city itself. Let's talk climate. This is an organization based in Wenatchee, Washington, which is a small community in Washington State. And this is a really inspiring story because they said, we want our local businesses and our residents to get to know one another. And we want people to care for the planet more than they're showing that they're doing right now. So they teamed up. This is a group of people who engaged many, many, many businesses around their city and said, let's put on an EcoChallenge. So they had a custom private EcoChallenge for their city where they engaged close to 1,000 of their residents in actions in the community together. So it wasn't just actions on your own, but they were doing tree plantings. They were actually getting out into the community and doing things together as business leaders and residents to try to make their community a better place. So that was really inspiring as well. Clear Result is a national company that has offices across the United States, as is Beveridge and Diamond. They are a law firm that has offices across the United States. They're using the EcoChallenge as a way to bridge that gap between employees. They might physically be in different places, but they can all participate in something together. So that's another example that I wanted to share with you. Questions at this point before I move on to our discussion courses?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, I'm in Dallas, Texas. My name is Rose, and
Hi, Rose.
we're growing, but we're still fairly small. But I
Mhm.
just wanted to do research on being more active, and I'm just trying to understand the team element. So each individual would have their own login, correct? And they would have to log in and plug in their information in order for it to track as a team. Is that correct?
Yes, that's a good question. So teams are set up by an individual. So you could set up a team for your organization. You could upload your company logo, your website, all of that. And I should have showed you a team page, so I can do that really quickly as well, where you can upload all of that. And then each person that you ask to join your team, it could be employees only. It could be employees and friends and family. It could be clients. It could be partners, suppliers, all of that. You can invite them to join your team, and each person who chooses to join your team, sorry, I'm looking down because your image is down on my computer. So I'm like looking at you eye to eye, but I'm really not. So each person who is on your team would create their own username and password to log in each day, but they would be participating on your team, and they'd be able to choose the action of their own. Clear Result, one of the examples that I just gave, whenever they participate, they usually have a theme company-wide that they want employees to take action in. So one year they were doing an energy audit, one year they were doing a waste audit. And what they said to employees is, you can choose whatever action you want. Please make sure you choose an action from the waste category this year, since we're focusing on waste as a company, but then also feel free to take action in any other category that you would want to. Does that answer your question for you? Okay, great. Any other questions before we move forward?
Liz, we have a comment from Megan. So she is on the call, and she runs a preschool daycare in Connecticut. And she's saying
Cool.
it may be difficult to get all the parents involved. However, there are 6 sister schools. And so it'd be a great way to sort of connect all these schools sort of together. And her question was, how do you sort of do that beyond the website? Or is the website the way to kind of bridge all those communications together? If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we have a middle school in New Jersey that participates every year, and they have like hundreds of students participate. And it's a lot of fun. And we also have some elementary students who participate through their teachers or parents. So I really like your question and where you're coming from. I think, to be honest with you, the website is that springboard, I would say. We like to bring people together there. So if you were to try this out with your network and sister network of preschools, I would want that to be the foundation of your connection and starting point, and then going from there, figuring out what would work best for you all. And I think that's something we could help with. So I'd like to give a little bit more thought to that. I'm sorry I don't have a deeper response to that question right now, but I think we know that the EcoChallenge platform has worked as a convening place for people that then go on to do so many other things even after the fact together, because they've established that network. So I'd like to put some more thought to that, if that's okay. I'm sorry, I don't have an exact answer right now to provide some concrete next steps. I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to move back and forth again to the website. And actually, what I will show you first is, I think I'll show you a team page really quickly before we go. So let me see here. Mount Hood Community College, I just wanted you to see this. You see they uploaded their logo, they can choose their banner, they can choose the name of their team, they can put a tagline there. And then from your team page, something else I didn't mention, and this is very important, is if you look over here on the left-hand side of my screen, you can see my impact. So this would be the impact that I've made as an individual every time I check in. You can see an impact on an individual level. You can then see an impact on the team level as well. So we've actually had, and that's another thing that I didn't mention with Clear Result, Clear Result, Bank of America, and a company called Ecova have all actually put their team collective impact results in their CSR reports at the end of the year to show the engagement level that their communities have had, their employees have had, and to show what they've done as well, not only engaging, but to show that collective impact. So we do offer that on the team level, and then of course the larger collective impact, which I showed you from the very beginning as well. And that's with all 11,000 people participating. So there's some good storytelling here. You can also just read the feed for just your team. If you wanted to see what is just my team doing, you can read their feed posts. You can really learn a lot about your employees and about the community in which you're a part of by reading this team feed and by engaging people in this. So hopefully that was helpful as well. Okay, good.
Liz, while you're on the site, if it's okay, do you mind showing us how there was a category in the challenges in which you can customize a challenge? Do you mind showing us that section, how that works?
Sure, I'd love to. Actually, let me go to my dashboard. So I will show you an example. The create your own. We have a lot of people that choose create your own, actually, not because we don't do good things with our library of actions, but because we know there's so many more things that people can be doing. So if you said, you know what, I really want to take a specific action for my company around water or waste or energy or any of them, and it's not here, you can go to create your own, and it says choose your own challenge. Ideally, it would be one measurable thing, so you're not asking to do 5 things in one action, but there's no limits to what you can choose. So if you said select, it would allow you, when you select, I've already selected it, so I will show you what it looks like. What that looks like is you get to write in exactly what you want your action to be. So I wrote in for my action when it said create your own, these are my words that I chose to use. I will do my best to not purchase food wrapped in plastic of any kind. I will also do a plastic audit in my home to see what can be replaced so I can begin reducing plastic overall. So that was my create your own challenge. And it literally just flips open an empty box where you get to type in what you want your action to be. This is how we were founded 24 years ago. And I'm certainly being aware of time, so I'll make sure that we can move through this. But 24 years ago when we started with this need for conversation and for transformative learning. We really wanted people to come together and talk about the big systematic issues that we have in our world today. And so we decided to create these discussion courses. The best way I describe them are intentional book clubs. We have 10 different courses that we offer right now. You can see on the screen, hopefully, some images of our covers. We have 2 that focus on simplicity, 2 that focus on food. We have one for climate change, energy, sustainability in the workplace. If you're trying to understand the value of sustainability in the workplace or how to implement sustainability in the workplace, we've got one for that. Peace, justice, and sustainability and the intersections of those things. And we have one that I think is a really strong one, especially for businesses and communities to do, and that is Choices for Sustainable Living, that talks about transportation, community, consumption in the economy, food, and a few other things as well. We cultivate these writings. We do not write them all ourselves. We pay permission to use them from authors, book chapters, newspaper articles, magazine articles, definitely from thought leaders in the world. We have discussion questions as well, in which we want you to read articles and read a chapter and then come to your group and think about those questions and think about the articles and then discuss it amongst yourselves. They are designed to be self-led. So if anyone were to get one of our books, you would be able to pick it up, and we have guidelines for facilitating. How do you do this? What's useful? There's some tips there. And then we are also here along the way to help as well. We have action plans in them. We have additional resources and tools and additional readings that people can access as well. So there's a lot of really good content, but they're designed to bring people together in a variety of settings and to help them have a meaningful conversation and then not only take action in their own life, but in their group and community as well. Okay. I can show you the site in just a moment, but I'd really like to touch on some success stories and the ways that people have used these. Originally, they were designed to be facilitated face-to-face, and that's still primarily how they're done today. We want groups of people to do this in the workplace during lunch for a lunch and learn session, or integrated into their community through schools, all those kinds of things. One of the examples that we have used successfully as well is we are starting to do them virtually with companies. And Bank of America, we've worked with them for 4 years now. We have engaged over 1,800 employees at this point. And this is just a few of the statistics of people are saying they're learning things from this. They enjoy participating in these discussions. They feel a greater sense of connection to the bank as an employee and to their colleagues as well. And the greatest thing about this also is that Bank of America has said, along with another company, we can use these internally. And if you are inspired as a community leader where you are, we want you to take these into your community as well. We want you to engage your stakeholders or engage your community members in these discussion courses. And so we work with them to do that also. And I'll show you some other success stories, and then I will also show you the site, depending on our time. Through the discussion courses, here's some examples for you. Redside is a company here in Portland. After the employees went through one of our food discussion courses, they said, you know what, we do a lot of food-related events in our business and in our company, and we need to start aligning our purchasing with the values that we have around food. So they created a food purchasing policy for their internal events. Anytime they have an event with food, they said, we need to make sure that we're using a vendor that can do X, Y, and Z for us because these things are important. Once they created that list, they then went out to food vendors in Portland to find who can fill these needs for us, who can align with these food values. And then they created a list, I think it was 8 or 10 people that they can then purchase food from for their work events that they felt really good about because they had this shared dialogue and shared values around their food purchasing for work. Earth-friendly products. I just led a discussion with them actually, and it was all of their management team. And we did the the workplace sustainability discussion course, and really talking about we live out these values in our products, but how do we really engage our employees? How do we engage our suppliers and our customers? That was the two really big questions for them. How do we engage our suppliers? How do we engage our customers in these shared values with us? And now they're working on steps of doing that, which is really exciting. Pacific Continental Bank is a local bank. It's regional actually. And actually they decided to say every employee at the time, it was like 47. I think they've grown a little bit now, but every employee has to participate in this discussion course. So we want to have a shared experience with each other because we don't have a statement around sustainability. We don't have a statement around valuing sustainable practices, and which includes HR practices, supporting the communities we work in, the communities that we're a part of, and the employees, the people that we have here. So they looked at it at a very holistic level, which I was so grateful for. And every employee participated. And I was there for the first and the last session. And the first session, some people said, I'm here because I have to be. And at the end, that same person, there was one in particular, who said, I'm here because I have to be. At the end, he said, I never knew that I would enjoy this so much, that I would get so much out of it, and that I would feel more comfortable at work now because of this. So that was something that was really exciting to be a part of as well. The city of Tacoma, we've worked with them over the years, and they actually offer, and the city of Beaverton is starting to do this, offer discussion courses with residents. So they're saying, hey, let's go out to businesses and residents and let's have a discussion course together. It's open to the public. We're going to host it at our office. We're going to invite people in, but anyone who wants to participate, just come sign up and we'll participate and we can have a shared experience together. And that's phenomenal. ECOVA has done inter-office discussion courses. They're a spread out company, so they do them through a conference call, and people can talk from one location to the next, and that's been something that has really helped them bridge their connections with one another. And then Deloitte is also looking at, we just did an internal discussion course, and now they're really interested in bringing in their suppliers and clients, because they want to have discussion courses with them from employee to employee. And I actually just had a phone call with Daimler Trucks yesterday, Daimler Trucks North America, and they said, we have a brand new office and we want people to come here. We want people to know that we value the same things that they value. Can we do a discussion course where we invite community members into our space and we host them and we get to know them? And I said, absolutely. So we're just in the beginning steps of doing that, which is a really inspiring thing to know that they're willing to bring people into their space and to show, hey, we're with you. We're a part of your community. And I'm really excited to see where that goes. I'm just going to leave this screen up to show you some quotes that people have said from 3 more companies that we've worked with. I'm going to pause and see if there's questions before I move on.
Liz, I don't know if I should leave this till the end, but there are a couple of questions on the Eco Challenge specifically. Would you like to take them now? Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. How did you decide on a 2-week time frame for the Eco Challenge?
Ooh, good question. We thought it was most doable. We thought 30-day challenges can be really hard because what we're asking people to do is to do an action every single day. Now, we do have one-time actions. For example, get a home energy audit. Well, you do that once and you get 25 points for it. And that's fantastic. It's important and significant. But we also really want to focus on behavior change. How do you encourage someone to do something every day so it becomes a new habit, or do something every day? Maybe they don't do that the whole time for the rest of their lives, but they learn something and can adjust from there. So we wanted it to be in a bite size enough that people felt like, okay, I can manage this. I can do this. I will tell you though, you guys are getting all the inside scoop today, that we are looking for next year to do a 21 days. We do want to extend it a 3rd week. That hasn't been completely finalized, but I'm pretty sure that's where it's going. Because we do often hear research says 21 days is what it takes to really build that new habit and maintain that.
Okay, great. That was the second part to the question, is have you considered sort of longer term programming to make even a greater impact? So it looks like you're already thinking about that.
Indeed, yes.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Right. Are there any others?
I think that's good for now.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
All right. So I'm going to show you our NWI site so you can see that. So I can show you. So our discussion courses, you can see here our discussion course books, A World of Health, Sustainability Works, A Different Way, our new Simplicity course, which is pretty powerful. Our climate change course, I actually want to do choices for sustainable living. So what I want you to see here is how the books are laid out. You can see a little bit about them and who we have as authors. So this is the cover for our current version of this. Here's our table of contents. So some of you might be familiar with some of these authors and some of these concepts and larger systematic themes that we touch on. And this might be new to some folks too, and that's great. They are designed to be 18 years and older, so we do work primarily with, I would say, freshman college students and up. We try very hard not to be technical or too academic in the writing. We really want to meet people where we are. This is about impacting our everyday decisions and really putting some critical thinking into the choices that we make. So here's more of our table of contents. So you might, when people read through our discussion courses, they might see articles that somewhat contradict each other. Again, that's because we're not trying to be prescriptive. We're not trying to be judgmental. We're trying to say, hey, let's look at as many different angles as we can, and then we want to empower you to make sure that you're making the choices that mean the most to you for yourself. So that's important to us. I'm going to move on. We always have an introduction. Here's how to start a discussion course. So every book, as I said, it's designed to be self-facilitated. We, of course, support as much or as little as you'd like. And each course, you can see, how do you do this? You know, what is it that I need to do? So we help you along the way by literally laying it out. We do encourage the facilitator role to rotate. In the workplace, this mostly happens as a lunch and learn series, or in the evening hours when community members are invited in, or employees go out to different groups in the communities. And we encourage people to rotate the role of the facilitator. So someone would be facilitating every week to ask the questions and lead the group through the conversation. And that just comes with the theory that the wisdom lies within the room, not necessarily at the front of the room. All of us have interaction and understanding and history with these topics. So we really want to encourage each person to have a leadership role if they'd like. Guidelines, if you've never done this before and you don't really know how to set up a group successfully, we have guidelines to help you along the way, just some suggestions. Of course, an evaluation, we take feedback very seriously, and we revise our courses every 3 years or so because we want to keep the content fresh. So here's the first chapter. You can see we have session goals, we have a background, we have a suggested group activity if anyone would like to engage in their community. When businesses have done this within the community, or any group of people, really, there's some pretty powerful things that can come from it. So we always try to encourage that group activity. We have discussion questions here. And then, of course, since we are a educational nonprofit, but we really want to protect our planet, we always encourage action. So in every chapter, we also have a putting it into practice category where we ask you to think about actions that you're going to take around what you just discussed and read. And then, of course, we have further resources that we always will put in the chapter so you can access them at the end. And then this gets into the content of how it's laid out. We define words for people, different definitions of sustainability. So this is the layout of the book. The books come in PDF, ebook, dynamic ebook through Uberflip, and paperback versions as well. So this is just the beginning content of one of our choices for sustainable living books that I wanted to share with you. We are at almost 5, we're 7 to the hour. I want to make sure we end on time, but I also want to make sure that I'm answering any questions or things that are on your mind as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Liz, I have a question here that came through the chat feature. Do you have any examples of how Earth-friendly products is working to engage their suppliers and customers based on their shared values?
That's a really good question, and that's something that they're working on now. So we just finished the management discussion course last month, and that's part of their next. I've talked with their marketing manager since then, but that's something that they are talking about internally, is how are we going to do this now? And there's been some big ideas thrown around using social media, engaging people at their sites. They are also spread out. They're primarily based in California, but they have a few different facilities. And so I'm excited to see what they begin to do with that.
I think we've covered the rest.
Great. Do any of you feel like these discussion courses, again, because I asked about the EcoChallenge, could you see yourself using these would they be a helpful tool, or maybe not so much, and that's okay too? But I'd love to hear if you think that might be a good fit for what we're focused on and what we're doing.
Rose, hi. I would think that, yes, I think that is very beneficial because I think a lot of companies are being very conscientious of how sustainable they are. And we want to put our best foot forward in terms of being conscientious of the earth and our impact we're a manufacturer. So, a lot of designers are very conscientious of, well, what kind of footprint are you implementing on with your product? So we want to be sustainable. We want to be part of that conversation and be responsible. So us in the industry that we're in, yes, I think it's very beneficial because we kind of talk about our leadership team has helped implement some leadership skills, but I feel like this also ties into that as being a responsible contributor to society in general. So I think it talks to some of that as well as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great. Thank you. Well, wonderful. I know that I shared a lot of information today. There was a lot of details. But I do hope that you can think about this as an opportunity to engage employees and consider engaging your greater community or taking what we offer into the community a little bit more too. I'm here along the way. The team at Northwest Earth Institute is always really excited to work with people. So if you've got questions, I do invite you to reach out to me. I try to make myself accessible, so please know that I'm happy to answer any further questions that you might have or give clarity to anything more that maybe you're looking for. But until then, I just thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure talking with you all.
Okay, well that's it for this one. Check out more Fishbowls exclusively for the Small Giants community at smallgiants.org.